Have you ever come to Tuscany, or anywhere in Italy for that matter, perhaps Sicily or even in the north, and you've driven through the countryside and you've seen one of these crumbling stone structures? Maybe it's half a house, maybe it's a barn, maybe it's a whole villa, and you've thought, gosh, what would it be like to bring that back to life? Well, if you'd like to come with me, I'm about to show you. I'm documenting a project that my boyfriend is working on for his family. They've been restoring historic homes in Tuscany for, well, generations, so they have a lot of experience. Guido's quite humble, so he'll never say how much experience he has, but he does. And his mother has restored frescoes and antique stone floors and furniture. She's done, you know, everything, all kinds of details. And his father as well has a lot of experience in dealing with all the permits and all the authorization that you need to get in Italy, which can be incredibly frustrating. So yes, we're going to manage this project for them, and you'll find that, well, even though Guido is Italian, born and raised here in Tuscany, even the Italians come up against a lot of exasperation when trying to do a renovation or construct anything within all the crazy guidelines, rules and regulations that are in place to protect this beautiful landscape. I have been living in Italy, well, more or less for about 10 years. And I have always wondered, you know, when I've come through the countryside, it's so, I don't know, it just captures the imagination, doesn't it? Because you see these olive trees and these views, and you just think, gosh, what could you do with that? Especially if, I think a lot of you are like me, and those of you who have followed me for a while know that I'm quite old-fashioned. My cooking is very old-fashioned. I just use a whisk. I don't have any electric appliances. You know, renovation videos where I've been hand painting tiles in the kitchen or the bathroom, or running all over Florence looking for an antique stone sink. All of my work, really, I like the work that sort of takes a little bit longer, but has much more soul and has much more nostalgia for this sort of bygone era. And something that Guido and I have in common, neither of us really are big fans of like sleek, modern interiors. I don't like all this sort of really opulent luxury that's very gratuitous, and these sparkling sterile kitchens. You know, I like stuff that is rough and has history and texture and soul. If you'd like to come with us on this adventure, this is part 2. I released part 1 last week, and you were all so incredibly kind in your encouragement and comments and interest, basically in this whole project. There were over 1,000 comments last week. I read every one of them. One gentleman even sent through a rendering of his ideas, which were amazing, by the way, Lars, so thank you so much for that. The goal is to build a 1-bedroom hideaway for a solitary traveller or a couple to rent. It must appeal to Italians, as Guido currently has a rental property on another part of this farm that works very well with Romans and Florentines. He finds they rent for much longer periods than foreigners. However, I'm keen to also make it appealing to you guys so that you might be able to stay here once the world goes back to normal and you can travel again to Italy. I should say I'm not investing in or profiting from this project. I'm just helping out because Guido's father is quite elderly and he can't be down here managing it in person. And Guido's mother has to stay up near Florence to take care of his father, so it's up to us to manage everything. The rent from this little house, once the construction cost is paid off, will go towards all the costs for the maintenance of the farm. Allora, ci sono tantissimi commenti about the question of whether one cooks on holiday. I think people have written that they don't want to cook. I completely understand that, because
loro vogliono stare bene, vogliono andare in un posto dove non si devono rompere le scatole per cucinare, ma è pacifico. Ma questo posto è diverso, cioè ci sono i ristoranti in giro, ma te non è che puoi mangiare sempre fuori. Noi non forniamo la ristorazione, quindi
la gente che tira tua madre, per esempio, all'agroturismo a Firenze, cioè, there are people who like to cook, who like to go to markets, who like to cook with fresh produce. There are people come i miei genitori che non mangiano fuori quasi mai. Me, for example, and my family, everywhere, for us, part of the vacation is cooking, and that's generally with Italophiles, maybe not in other countries that they go on holiday, but with people who love Italy, generally they're going to be foodies. No, they're going to be people who love cooking. So that's something to take into consideration, no?
But having to deal also with Italians that maybe could stay for longer periods, like months during the summer, it's highly possible that there will be 85% of the time producing their own meals on their own. So that the Italian style of life is based on and it's great part of it. It's around food, about cooking together, staying together and eating, convivialità. And
speaking about what you're going to cook next.
Exactly. Then you finish one meal, you say, oh, let's go and buy the fish in that market, and then we can prepare a nice spaghetti allo scoglio and everything. And that's part of the way of living, of slow food, slow living, and appreciating good things and simple and good things. So nature, nice view, a nice meal, a nice sleep, a nice bath. That's it.
I see. I was speaking with your mother, and because she already has the agroturismo up near Florence, so all of those little apartments have a proper kitchen. The guests that come that are from all over the world, the reason you come there is for the serenity, so you don't want to get back in the car and go out to a restaurant. No?
Obviously,
cioè,
yes.
Però ovviamente come hai detto tu, se stai a Firenze, se stai a Roma, cioè, è ovvio che hai voglia di uscire, di mangiare fuori. Nessuno sta dicendo di levare la cucina, cioè they're only saying whether to prioritize a kitchen with the view from the bench. That's all. Hai capito?
Yeah, but that window is high. It's a high window, so it has a view, because it's, I think, 1 meter or 1.20 meter, the low side of the window. So if you're sitting on a couch, you can't look out of it. So it's a good spot for someone that's standing.
Ah, sì, questo
so
è vero.
that's you're cooking and you're standing, because the level of the cooking area is 90 or 1 meter.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you were sitting on a couch, you would just look the sky, because it's from down to up at that window. And then obviously all the sitting room has the view out of the main doors that are completely windowed.
Sì.
So
the thing people were unanimous about pretty much was to not make a fuss of the TV, the television.
I'm doing a fuss.
I know. Sì, lo so. And the reason is, if you want to defend yourself, because I completely agree with everyone who wrote, you're in the countryside, you want to just detach, and you come to just really...
yeah, but for example, when we went to Sicily, sorry if I'm always interrupting you, we went to Sicily in that beautiful house that didn't even have doors, but it had a small television. And we love to watch the DVD of the Postino movie.
È vero.
Yeah.
We spent the whole day out and in the garden and looking at the view, and then when it's at night time, we also then we looked at the stars, and then after dinner we watched a film.
Yeah,
È
but
vero,
it's not one thing. But then I'm not saying that I want to put an enormous television or whatever.
Tante persone hanno detto che in questi giorni la gente guarda Netflix sul computer, no? So...
Sì, vabbè, uno gli mette Chromecast, se lo guarda sulla televisione è meglio guardarla al computer. Magari la televisione non ce la metto, ma idealmente in fase di progettazione è intelligente valutare dove potrebbe essere il punto migliore, metterci la presa dell'antenna, poi se uno non la usa non importa, ma in questa fase non costa nulla farlo. Domani sarebbe un casino, insomma. A foreign person might not have interest in having a proper TV set and everything, but being this place not too far from Rome and having to deal probably also with Italians, I know that Italians, for them, is essential if they come up for a weekend or more weekends to have a proper television, football matches and stuff like that. So I'm doing it in order to encounter also the needs of an Italian public.
Which is also che è anche intelligente, perché poi in questi tempi with COVID, the Italians are actually a safer bet than the foreigners, because we don't know how long it will take for the world to get back to normal. And as you have in the other place that you rent out, it's all year round 100% Italian guests, no?
Where?
Non posso dire on the thing, but you know where. Granatella.
Yeah, that's Italian base.
Sì, esatto.
So it's all Italians, and they all want to.
And they never go out. No, like people don't realize this about Italians is they rarely go out. They want to come up and relax and watch television, which sounds terrible, but è la verità, no?
Sì, ma è quello che faccio anch'io quando uno lavora tutta la settimana e poi al weekend si vuole rilassare, guardare un bel film.
Sì.
In santa pace.
Sì? Dove sei andato?
Ho levato le cose.
Ah, dovevi chiedermi, cioè, volevo aiutarti. Io sto preparando il pranzo, così se facciamo le riprese almeno il pranzo sarà già pronto. You haven't read all the comments, but there have been
awful comments.
No.
Attenta. Prima quando levavo quei cosi era pieno di scorpioni.
No, davvero?
Sì. Probabilmente ci sono anche dei serpenti qui dentro. It's full of geckos and scorpions.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the only place in Italy where there are deathly spiders.
Davvero?
Yes.
Last week, when I asked you if you preferred the kitchen on the right or on the left, it seems the majority of you wanted the kitchen by the window with the view.
Ora qui è rialzato perché,
Sì.
perché il pavimento, perché qui il terreno va così, quindi in teoria dovrebbe essere più basso, però...
Ma scusa, se il divano fosse qua
Sì.
e la cucina fosse di là,
Sì.
cioè non è che non
guardi fuori dalla finestra. Cioè non è che la cucina impedisce.
I'm sitting down, I see the view, I move it here, and I'm rolling past the door, and I'm like seeing the view. Ma this is... Sì, quindi...
non è che una cosa esclude l'altra, ecco.
I find that, for example, when I'm cooking, you love to just lie on the couch and talk to me, no? So you could be here and I could be just standing up here, cooking. It's nice. No, but what I'm saying is it's nice that it's open, because if the couch is along here, it opens up the conversation to the person cooking. So I'm chopping leeks and you're here keeping me company, no?
E allora uno il tavolo lo mette là.
Sì. The table is at the point of this chair.
Sort of, it comes like this,
Sì.
or like this. If it's small, you can put it also.
Sì.
Uno può mettere anche un tavolo quadrato, un tavolino tondo.
Sì.
It's 3 meters 50. It will be 4 meters 50. So you will have an extra meter that way. So the couch here,
Sì.
maybe it's too far from the window. I don't. Cioè, ti fai conto la finestra è qua. Cioè, la finestra sarà qui. Capito?
Dove sei ora?
Su per giù, ora non ho il metro, ma insomma.
Lots of people were saying, oh, if you have guests, but I think the thing to remember is that you probably wouldn't have guests because it's just for
We will put,
una coppia.
Sì,
quindi.
l'idea era mettere da qualche parte un divano che poteva diventare divano letto nel caso eccezionale, ma non è
eccezionale per i bimbi, cioè, però non
sì,
è che
non è un affare non è una cosa studiata per avere
ospiti.
Diciamo permanenti.
A lot of you have fantastic ideas and suggestions, and your architects, your interior designers, you're running Airbnbs in Canada or the States, but Italy is quite a different beast, let's say. And I noticed the people who live in Italy who left comments said, "Oh, guys, you've got to understand, it's not like in any other country." In fact, we just went to a meeting with the geometra, the surveyor and the architect, and they said, look, everyone always thinks, even in Europe, okay, we'll just do things like this, like we always do, and no, Italy is always a bit of an exception. But you know what, I have to say, that's kind of why I love this country, why I love living here, because I was sitting there in the office and we came up against yet another totally illogical law, and I said, okay, well, that's it then, we have to just jettison that whole idea. And the surveyor said, no, we'll find a way, there's always a way around it. And that is something I love, l'arte di arrangiarsi, the art of making do, and finding a loophole, finding a way to sort of achieve what you want within the rules. And this is an Italian talent for sure, and expats who have been living here for a while will probably agree with me that, you know, once you've lived here for a while, you kind of adopt that mentality, which is quite useful. You know, when you come up against something that says no, non si può, you can't, then you instantly think, okay, that's not a definitive no. We can still find a way. And so this is kind of what the mindset one needs is to think, okay, how can we do this within all those frustrating rules? I mean, lots of people are saying, why can't you just make another floor on top of the terrazza? As I explained, I know it's complicated, but you have to stick to the original volume of the structure. So the chicken coop that you see, it can't be larger than that. We can't put another story on top. I mean, really, even in your own home, in a room that's closed off and not seen from the public road, you have to follow the restrictions. You can't pull down walls. You can't paint. You can't paint your windows a certain color unless you have approval. And it does sound a bit frustrating, but then you look behind me and you think, well, this is a very, very beautiful and very ancient country we're talking about here. It's always a struggle to get Italians to eat outside. And this is not every Italian, but most Italians.
I can confirm. Probably people, maybe if you put the kitchen there and the door is open and the table it's at 3 meters, maybe you will have people eating outside. But otherwise, if there's half a staircase or 20 meters to bring the food from the inside to outside, people will just eat in the sitting room or the kitchen. And
I know it seems crazy because you guys say, but this view, but this weather, doesn't matter. Italians, whether it's because they're used to it or whatever, or they don't like discomfort or even having to walk a short amount of space. So, for example, I remember my parents lived for 3 or 4 months on the island of Ponza, which is just off Rome, and they got an incredible deal on this place. And the real estate agent said no Italian would ever rent this place because it's so hard to get to.
Like the one in Sicily.
Infatti, come
Vabbè, ora
come
quella era scomoda.
Sì, ma quel posto che è rimasto disponibile ad agosto addirittura,
Sì.
che cioè alta stagione, proprio perché agli italiani non piacciono i posti o le situazioni scomode, no?
I think the starting point is that the windows are there, view is there, fireplace is there.
Facciamo finta che questo sia il cammino.
Sì. La cucina parte da lì
Sì?
e va tutto lungo il muro,
Ok.
con tutto, lavabo, piano cottura, lavastoviglie
Sì?
e ovviamente ci vuole dove mettere le cose. Poi volevo metterci anche la lavatrice, sinceramente. Comunque almeno il posto, la predisposizione per la lavatrice.
Sì.
E quindi quelli sarebbero 8, 16, 24, 32, 3,20 m sono occupati da quello.
Ok.
E il resto è lo spazio per il camino.
Ma
La finestra è nel mezzo.
questo soffitto sarà più alto?
Sì. Poi, allora, prima di tutto verrà più profondo. Sarà più largo 1 metro.
A proposito degli italiani pigri,
No,
ti vuoi alzare? No.
la sarà più profondo 1 metro questo, perché il volume viene più, insomma, viene recuperato il volume, lo stesso volume, ma viene più corto e più profondo, quindi là ci sarà più spazio.
Ok. Il divano inizia qua, no? Se mettiamo...
Perché qui c'è la porta e va in bagno.
Sì.
Se no uno può mettere il tavolo qui, così, e qui c'è la cucina, e il divano lo metti là.
Lots of people were talking
Però il
about...
divano lo metti per così, la TV non c'è,
Sì.
e il divano lo metti lungo quella parete lì, e bello è fatto.
Sì.
Cioè-
Lots of people said put the television, if you have to, in the bedroom, which is, you know, debatable whether you want to be doing altre cose.
In teoria la
siete
TV a letto.
sì. Però, or people were talking about a projector or something that pulls down.
Se no uno l'attacca al muro lassù nell'angolo, è bello è fatto, nell'angolo su,
Sì.
non tanto grande, una piccola TV, è bello è fatto. Metti una piccola mensola con una piccola TV là sopra, è bello è fatto. Dovrebbero essere 5 metri per 4, quindi dovresti arrivare fino a qua, tipo. Io metterei 2 e una poltrona.
Sì.
Perché la poltrona la puoi spostare, ti metti accanto.
No, I suppose wherever you are, you've got a view, but I'm just thinking, this is certainly beautiful.
Ma qui la view ce l'hai, cioè, non è che non ce l'hai.
Certo,
Ti
però,
metti qui, sdraiato, sì.
imagine if you're lying down here, you have this, and you just have like a...
Ha senso, allora il problema è poi il tavolo. Allora il tavolo si mette qua.
Sì.
E poi rimane vuoto lì.
Sì, ma è vuoto, però è utile perché così hai un ingresso libero, no?
Se mettiamo le finestre alla francese, l'ingresso è nel mezzo e le porte aprono in fuori. Quindi uno entra, però questo ripeto, questi ora manca 1 metro qui, perché questo è 1, 2, 3 qualcosa, e noi si va, c'è un altro metro qua.
Okay.
Quindi è per quello che sembra un po' compresso.
Sì. It does seem to make sense to put the... Scusati.
Sì, no, sto guardando le misure.
Ah, sì? No, it does make sense to put... I mean, guarda la vista da dove sei in questo momento. It's beautiful now, just looking straight out. Do you think? Or...
Sì. Poi generalmente il vento, se viene quello noioso, viene da là.
Ah, sì?
Quindi comunque saresti riparato qua. Cioè il tramonto lì, insomma, no, è figo.
In fact, someone asked... qualcuno ha chiesto... Ciao.
Ciao.
Eccomi. Someone asked where it faces. West. And you have the sea there, il mare.
Tutto là.
I filmed actually the sunset yesterday, while you were having that meeting.
Okay.
And it was beautiful because you'd have the sun
Because
directly.
normally in this period of the year the sun goes down there, and during summer it slowly moves that way, and you will have it straight there. Maybe you will have too much light.
Sì, ieri it was in line with that olive tree just
Ok,
there.
perfect.
So,
Allora va ancora più là.
sì.
Sì.
Point is, here it's so
From
much
here you get the breeze from the sea
Sì.
during the summer.
Sì.
And obviously we are putting an 8 centimeter, come si dice, coibentazione termica sia per l'inverno che per l'estate sopra, quindi le finestre e il solaio questo sopra, che è poi dove c'è la terrazza. Ovviamente c'è l'isolamento termico, perché sennò qui d'estate ci muori. Ovviamente c'è l'aria condizionata e quindi con l'aria condizionata dove stai benissimo. Poi ci sarà l'ombra del pergolato, quindi
Lots of people were upset about the stones, but maybe we should, forse dovremmo chiarire that you're not against the stones.
No, io ho provato a chiedere se era possibile. Il problema è che qui dietro c'è la collina. Possiamo fare invece dell'intonaco una cosa fatta anche in questo modo, però rubi spazio all'interno della... Cioè, you eat part of the...
See, I understand the interior space, but I don't think that... I mean, imagine if you could even just do one wall, like a feature wall, like this back wall, so that when you come in, you see a back wall of stone.
Sì, però ovviamente non puoi prendere questi qui, perché questi sono profondi. Cioè, questo è un muro, dovresti prendere sassi più... È uguale, cioè, sono sassi. Vuol dire che levi 20 centimetri alla stanza.
Però if it were a question of just saying, look, we're going to take 10-20 centimeters away from the floor plan here, I think that would be worth it. What do you think?
I don't think so, because it's a small room and you can't take away space from it. If there's the way of not losing space and doing it the same, I will ask for it.
So the next thing is the infissi, all the windows and doors, no?
Mm-hmm.
You want to explain what you're thinking for that?
Che sono 3,20 m per 2,40 e bisogna siano termici, e la scelta è, siamo liberi di farli come vogliamo, quindi già dei preventivi su cari ovviamente.
Sì.
Quindi bisogna scegliere se farlo in PVC, in legno, in alluminio.
In PVC, the ones we saw in that shop were horrible.
Il PVC è quello che costa meno, che però da un punto di vista termico funziona bene.
Sì.
Esteticamente dipende quale metti, ma può non essere assolutamente bello.
Do you like and which if you choose between ferro and legno, quale?
Sono d'alluminio o di legno?
Scusa.
Io li farei d'alluminio perché è molto più duraturo, costa di più, però almeno una volta l'hai fatto rimane, non è una cosa che... Il legno devi ridargli il trattamento ogni 3 o 4 anni, insomma ha bisogno di manutenzione. L'alluminio, se è fatto bene, no, hai visto quelle le persiane, quelle che sono di alluminio della casa, quelle avranno 10 anni, sono perfette, cioè non hanno un graffio, non hanno niente, quindi la roba d'alluminio resiste molto di più. È ovvio, esteticamente va dipinta in un modo che è gradevole da un punto di vista estetico.
And right now we have 3 renderings of the different colors, no? 4.
Okay. Quindi, insomma,
qual è il tuo preferito?
Non lo so.
Non lo sai.
No.
So let me know your opinion in the comments for the doors and windows. Here's some inspiration from my mood board. What material would you choose? PVC, aluminium or timber? And what color would you paint them?
Okay. Would you like to have some lunch?
Yes, please.
Good, I've already prepared it.
Next episode on renovating a ruin. I have the best news about the stones.
Oh! Ah, io sono ancora qua! Non mi rinchiudere dentro!
Io l'abbiamo costruito io con mio padre.
Ah sì? 1930. Ci sono ragazzi che hanno 25 anni che non sarebbero capaci di fare quello che fai tu. Quanti anni ha, secondo te?
Non lo so. Tanti.
Sì.
E perché è così da quando ci sono io, quindi.
Perché c'erano stati i partigiani
Sì.
che si erano rifugiati qui. Dove avevano messo la mitragliatrice qui al forno, si sulla strada, alzarono lì.
No!
Thank you to these incredible viewers who have supported my work on Patreon. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up as it really helps the video get seen, and I shall see you next week.